we watched the Sixers tonight completely validate Joel Embiid's MVP trophy. They came out tonight in Game 2. They threw the hammer down on the Celtics, 155-79. Joel Embiid, 49 points, 28 rebounds, 21 assists, really validating the day after winning MVP, obviously motivated by the big MVP Rolex James Harden gave him before the game. Oh, he validated that MVP, man. I'm the MVP. Look at this.
I'm the whiz and nobody beats me.
Except not at all.
Yeah, I think the Rolex weighed him down. Did he have that on him?
Maybe that's why he didn't go up as high for the rebounds.
I mean, maybe
he only had 3 rebounds tonight.
Yeah,
he only had 3. Look, the Celtics just absolutely boat race.
But it was an 8-point game at half, right? I mean, it's a close game. And then the third quarter said, at my signal, unleash hell.
A 30-point game by the time we got to the midway point of the fourth quarter. And you're sitting there going, do I do live betting here at 32?
Live betting was 32 and a half.
32 and a half. Do I take the live betting? An absolute blowout.
You could have taken the over.
You could have. Yeah.
It cashed.
And that's the thing is that I can't say I'm surprised. Look, the Celtics are the better team. They lose game 1, but here are the Sixers and Joel Embiid. They've gone to such great lengths to tell us about the MVP and how great Joel Embiid is. He doesn't play in game 1 and they win. He comes back for game 2 and he's barely there, and he scores 15 points. He pulls down 3 rebounds. 3 rebounds for Joel Embiid. Come on, man. 3 rebounds. And you're not even close in this game. That's why I said yesterday, I'm glad Embiid won the MVP so I can stop hearing him and the Sixers complain about how come he's not the MVP. But what did I say yesterday? Now, show me you're the MVP. Come back and show me why you should win. This is the effort we get coming up the day before you win the MVP, and because you're so self-satisfied, because winning the MVP was so incredibly important to Philadelphia and incredibly important to Joel Embiid. He wanted to win. He wanted to win. Why am I not? Why am I not? Doc Rivers making sure after every big game, I can't believe he's not the MVP. Well, when he has a game where he scores 15 points and has 3 rebounds, we're not talking about him being the MVP. Oh, we're gonna cherry pick when we can decide when Joel Embiid's the MVP, when he's not. When Steph Curry is the best point guard of all time and when he's not. A couple of games ago, yeah. The last games they played, no. So this is what I want. I want Joel Embiid to show me you care about winning a championship and you really care about being the MVP. Show me you're the MVP. Show me come out instead with an effort like this tonight where you are Philadelphia and you have a chance to really win the series tonight. I get going in saying, hey, we got one, we're okay going home. Well, you know what? Going home, you got to win both games. It's not like going home, we just got to win one. It's going home, you still got to win both games. Still a lot of pressure to win both games at home. You go up 2-0, and you have a Celtics team that's asking themselves, what is happening to us? How do we lose this? We had a big lead late. They didn't have Embiid. How do we lose this game? And you come out and you just get smoked like that at halftime when Embiid is still pretty fresh after sitting out a couple of – I don't get it. I don't get it. This is – how do you not validate? How do you not come out with an MVP performance and show everybody this is what – I just won the MVP yesterday. I'm going to show you why I'm the MVP today. That's only natural. You would get some kind of performance. And instead, you got no performance. His performance, talk about Embiid's performance, the guy had 3 rebounds. We talk about his performance, 3 rebounds. Joining us now on the hotline to break down all the big news of the NBA, Fox Sports 1 NBA insider extraordinaire. You can follow him on Twitter at Ric Bucher. It is Ric Bucher, and Rick, I will welcome you with 2 words tonight. Knicks, yo.
Knicks, yo. You can't just say Knicks, yo.
That's all I need. I've been saying it all year, and nobody's believed me how good the Knicks are. And I'm telling you, we're going to the NBA Finals. We're gonna.
Here we go again, Rick.
We'll beat either of these pretenders here in Boston and Philadelphia. Knicks, Lakers, NBA Finals. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. First of all, we have to correct something. You haven't been saying it all year. You have been saying it for years.
This is true.
That's why. While you may be correct as far as them being good this year and better than a lot of people gave them credit for, the fact that you've been saying it for years sort of discounts your ability to say, see, I'm telling you something that I knew and you didn't.
I disagree.
Fair?
I disagree.
It's like trying to put Tom Brady in retirement for a decade and a half.
2 years ago,
right?
years ago, I told you the Knicks were good. Last year, I did not. This year, I'm telling you they're good. I've been right. I've been right those times. And I've been right. Jalen Brunson's the best guard the Knicks have had in the last 50 years. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I'm home there.
Yeah. All right,
okay,
so
here's the thing. That's not a compliment. that's not a good thing.
Well, I'm just celebrating we're here now. I mean, I can't do anything about the 50 years preceding now.
That's the guy that stepped forward. You are a tribute. Why? Because I'm better than... No, you step forward.
I could just do something about now.
In fact, I would kind of be quiet about that. I don't know that I'd be advertising that.
So sort of like Joel Embiid, all chessy about winning the MVP, should not be that loud about it after tonight?
Yeah, well, look, you saw the emotion that he had in winning it, and I think that emotion carried over. Like I'm going to play, I should play, and I don't think that he should be playing. It's not clear exactly how bad the knee is or what he has in it, and I fully get like being full of I won MVP and I want to help my team and. They won, they won one without me. Let me go help them. But that's where, and I don't know the ins and outs in terms of did somebody from the Philadelphia 76ers try to stop him from playing tonight. But I just, seeing him play, it had the exact opposite effect. He wasn't an MVP tonight, and he wasn't in any way the guy that I voted for as MVP, and so and you could tell like he was trying to look like an MVP. He just didn't look in shape, didn't look like he could move. Like it was not a good idea, and I just I don't know whether he convinced the Sixers that he should or he could. But quite clearly he shouldn't have.
Well, and getting back on the court, they change up offensively, and James Harden disappears after that Game 1 heroics.
Yeah, well, but here's the other thing, too. I mean, I don't know that Harden, at this stage of his career, could have given you two of those in a row anyway.
Right,
so
100%. Yeah, we talked about that the other night, for sure.
Yeah, so I get that. I just... I don't know. If Joel doesn't play, then does Tobias Harris or does somebody else step up? Does Tyrese Maxey? I mean, I do think that they obviously in the first game, the Celtics not facing Joel Embiid are thinking, well, we've got this, and played it like there was guys in the league call it a professional win. You just do enough to win. You get to the fourth quarter, and that's when you try to turn it on, and when you're playing a bad enough team, you can get away with that. But when you're playing a team that has James Harden who can go nuclear like he did, then you're playing with fire, and they ultimately paid the price for it. And so I get where that worked to the benefit of the Sixers not having. It was almost like a psychological advantage that they had over the Celtics. Celtics just didn't approach them the same way, playing far different than I'm sure that they prepared for them when it came to watching tape going into this series. And then the reverse happens where the Sixers get Joel Embiid back, and they're thinking, well, we beat him without him, and now we got the MVP. And the Celtics play at a much higher level because they're thinking, well, we got beat by these guys without Joel Embiid. Now they got Joel, and now we have to play that much better. And it sounds so simplistic, and it sounds like I'm sure there's people out there listening right now going, are you kidding me? These are professional athletes. These are professional basketball players who play for years and do it. And I'm telling you, mentally, when a guy is not there, I've seen it time and time and time again. We'll probably go to your Knicks playing the Heat without freaking Jimmy Butler. Same kind of deal. Guys they mentally let up because the fear or the respect for that other team is just not at the same level.
Ric Bucher, our guest here, the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon live from the TireRack.com studios. All right, let's go from the East to the West to look, a series that is dwarfing everything. You watched from the tip-off last night. It felt like an NBA Finals game, the way it's been treated. Lakers-Warriors. It comes down to the final play, and this is a conversation we've had on the show before. Not very popular takes, that because I know you and I are on the same page with this, is that but watching the Warriors and Steph Curry, if you want to talk about him being the greatest point guard of all time after he scores 50 against the Kings, the flip side of it is, in close games, he can't get his own shot off at the end because he's not big enough. And the Lakers did exactly what they needed to do last night. Curry brings the ball up, they run 2 defenders at him, and now the best point guard of all time is completely out of the final play. I mean, that's something that I would think the Warriors would have a plan around that by now, Rick.
Well, they normally would, and there was a number of mistakes on that, and in fact they do. I think that they got lulled by that 50-point performance the previous game, Game 7, when he was able to come up and get what he needed or what they needed, and in that circumstance, I think Steve Kerr was caught between calling a timeout and setting something up. But then having to face the Lakers also being able to set up their half-court defense with a relatively short game clock, or trusting that he has guys out there that are 4-time champions, and I'm going to let them go and figure it out. And it wasn't just on Steph, but Draymond Green and Jordan Poole were slow getting up the court. They were behind the ball, and they should have been ahead of it in that circumstance. They were also practically standing next to each other at the top of the key. So the ball was going to go to Draymond in the middle of the floor. Jordan Poole's about 3-4 feet away from him and doesn't start to get wide until the ball gets to Draymond Green. And now his angle's not going to be the same. He's not at the 3-point line, and he doesn't have the option of catching it and swinging it to Klay Thompson in the corner if they close out hard on him. So they made a mess of that that you would have expected that a team with their experience would not have. And that's at the heart of it. Because honestly, you're right, and we talked about this many times about the ability to trap the ball out of Steph's hands. But if they trap him and he swings it to Draymond, and Draymond either hits Jordan Poole with his toes on the 3-point line, or Jordan swings it to Klay and they hit that 3, then we're not complaining about this play. And their counter for being able to trap the ball out of Steph's hands is that he gets it to Draymond, and then he's able to run off of however many screens you want to set, but make Jared Vanderbilt or Dennis Schroeder, whoever it is, chase him, and then catch the ball and be able to shoot in the microsecond that he needs to get it off. That's how they've operated it, and that's been their counter to the fact that because he's 6'3", 190, you can trap him with 6'5", 6'6", normal-sized defenders. And in this instance, they didn't execute, plain and simple. Otherwise, they may have done it different. It reminds me a lot of Game 1 against the Sacramento Kings, where they came in, they weren't sure exactly what they were facing, and as the series went on, they could have stole that game, and it probably would have made for a shorter series, but they didn't. But they made adjustments along the way, and as I look at this series, I think the Lakers are what they are. They're very good at what they are. But the Warriors have multiple adjustments and things that they can change about how they play. Now, will it ultimately be good enough? I think it will be. I think that they can win the series. I expect them to win the series. But we're going to find out. I just look at the options that Steve Kerr has at his disposal and his experience making those changes, and I can't expect any of that out of Darvin Ham and the Lakers.
Yeah, Rick, I screamed myself hoarse calling for a timeout before Poole heaved the shot. But for the Lakers, conversely, you got many a weary minute out of Anthony Davis. Second half stats, clearly a dip in production. Zone defense work because the Lakers can't shoot. But can you get those kind of minutes out of LeBron and AD consistently in this series before they wear down?
Boy, it's going to be a challenge for sure. What I'm really interested in seeing, I mean, they don't have any choice. If those guys aren't playing deep minutes, then I don't know how they're going to succeed against the Warriors. I don't know that they're necessarily going to be able to. And Anthony Davis, if he wants to get 30 and 20 every night, which he hasn't shown the ability to consistently do that, but if he has the aggressive mindset, he can get 30 and 20. He can get 30 and 20, and the Warriors can still win. What I'm really fascinated to see in this next game and the upcoming games is who do they put on LeBron James? Because they put Andrew Wiggins on LeBron James, arguably their best defender. And as Draymond Green noted on his podcast, like, they're surprised that LeBron is playing off the ball and letting other guys play. And I don't think that's by accident. I think LeBron at 38, with the minutes that he has to play, can't go get you 30 or 40. And so what I want to see is who they put on LeBron. And if they take, because my feeling is that they can let.
We got to go
AD
trending out of this, guys. Let him go.
You can't let LeBron get 19, Dennis Schroeder get 19, and D'Lo get 19, whatever he got. Those three got 19 or better. You take one of those guys away, and it's a different game. And so, and I don't think it's unreasonable to think that you can take one of those guys away, because I don't know how many games they've had four guys who have had 19 or better. And that's where I think the defensive adjustments are going to go. Offensively, excuse me, I think the Warriors are okay. It wasn't a great game for them because they didn't score well in the paint. I think they can fix that too. But it's defensively getting the right matchups.
Lakers are back, Rick.
Is going to be the key to the series.
He's on Twitter at Ric Bucher. That is at Ric Bucher. Check him out on FS1, his On the Ball podcast, as he breaks down in an hour-and-a-half podcast what a Lakers-Knicks finals would actually look like. Rick, as always, buddy, appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the games.
Yes, indeed.
Knicks, yo.
You're the best. Bye, Rick.
Great stuff, as always, from Ric Bucher. Great insight on that final play for the Warriors, the Lakers going forward.